What's goody, Shellitronnn here. You can call me Shells, and I'm back at again with a brand new video. I'm gonna keep it a Bowberry biscuit. This might be the greatest day in Carolina Panthers history, only second to the day, that beautiful afternoon. It was a beautiful afternoon, by the way, when the Panthers cut Matt Kalil. Honestly, this might actually still top that day. I was extremely happy when the Panthers cut Matt Kalil, but I cannot express, and I'm sure the billions of Panthers fans worldwide cannot express the joy, the elation they feel right here in their heart, right here in their soul, and up here for knowing that there is an owner in the Carolina Panthers who is willing to make a decision that's actually beneficial for the Carolina Panthers. Now, what am I talking about? You probably already know by now, but throw up the tweet right here from Elena Getzenberg. She says the Carolina Panthers have fired GM Marty Hurney. Now, look, I'm not the kind of guy to celebrate a man losing his job, having to, navigate the turbulent waters of unemployment, but this is one of them days. This is one of them days, Marty Hurney. Don't let the dough hit you. Matter of fact, your key card don't work. Don't even try to get inside the building, my brother. We will mail you your things. You will not be able to open the door, look through a window. We tinted the windows. Okay? Your parking spot is gone. No, it's not reserved for you anymore. There is a 2.5-foot hole where your parking spot used to be. You cannot literally, physically park in that spot, Marty Hurney. You can't park there. You can't get past security, Marty Hurney. Your key card don't work. Your fob don't work. Do not try it. We're trying to get your apartment from you. Wherever you live in Charlotte, you better move, bro. We have your things. We will send them to your next address. Just let us know. All I know, you ain't here no more, okay? Now, for those y'all who've been living under a rock and don't quite know who Marty Hurney is, first of all, congratulations, you've lived your life in peace and tranquility. You know not the evils that have beplagued my Carolina Panthers. But let me give you a quick little history lesson on the Panthers and Marty Hurney. Marty Hurney has been the GM of the Panthers twice. He was first hired in 2002. That was for a 10-year period from 2002 to 2012. He was fired in the middle of the season in 2012 when we were just horrible. He was gone for like 5 years, then got rehired right after the draft in 2017 when we had Dave Gettleman, the man who's trying his hardest to ruin the Giants. They're doing all right now. The Giants are doing all right now, but they're in the NFC East. It's hard to tell if the Giants are actually good or if literally every other team in the division is just mediocre at best and dog meat at worst. It's probably the second thing. The biggest problem with Marty Hurney in his first stint with the Panthers, although he was a first-round draft pick king. And you might think to yourself, how hard is it to pick in the first round? We have seen plenty of busts in the first round from just about every team. For the most part, Marty Hurney has hit on just about every single one of his first-round picks. The problem with Marty Hurney was he did not know how to pay players. When it got time to sign free agents, when it got time to extend players, he would give them the bag. He just throw the whole bag at them. This man was throwing the bag, the duffy, the knapsack, the lunchbox, anything he could carry money in, he was throwing it at these players. We were in cap hell, in captivity, no cap. This man was horrible at his job, okay? Outside of picking in the first round. We brought in Dave Gettleman. This man had 2 words he liked to say. And it wasn't keep pounding, it was hog, followed very swiftly by the word Molly's. That's all he knew how to say. That's all Dave Gettleman knew. Then when you rehired this man, Marty Hurney, Marty Hurney's first round draft picks have usually all panned out. Without that one guy in 2006, I would say he has a perfect record of drafting guys in the first round, and that does take an eye for things, but there were some very, very important quotes about what happened when this man got fired. Dave did say when I say Dave, I mean Panthers owner David Tepper. Y'all know him as David Tepper. I know him as Dave. We go way back. It is what it is. Don't ask no questions. Dave said that he does respect Marty Hurney's traditional approach, but he hopes to blend more data-driven processes into the football operations, meaning Marty was more like an old-school kind of GM and didn't like talking about analytics and data and that kind of stuff. As we've gone along in the NFL, more teams like analytics. They want these number crunchers. They want these nerd dudes. And there's definitely benefits to having analytics drive part of your team and, how you build a team, how you draft, how you get free agents and whatever. There's a lot of good things that analytics can do for you, but I feel like, honestly, he didn't have to even give that kind of excuse because the Panthers fan base would have taken anything. You didn't have to even give an excuse at all. You could have just said, I fired Marty Hurney because I felt like it. And every single Panthers fan would have been like, yes, sir, that is fine, and I agree with that. That is a very perfectly reasonable reason to fire a man from his job. But he also said, you look at successful organizations, and there's a certain alignment between the head coach and the GM. To think that you can do that without some sort of alignment is nuts. So to not have a head coach with some input to that is stupid. So it looks to me that Marty Hurney and Matt Rule had some disagreement as to what they wanted to do. Maybe even in the previous draft, we took all defense. It sounded like maybe Matt Rule wanted all defense, and Dave Gettleman was saying maybe we want some offensive players this year in the draft, or maybe they've been talking about the draft so far this year, looking at their big board, because let's be honest, as a team in the position we're in right now, at 4-10, our scouts are not looking forward to the Washington game or the game against the Saints. We're looking at college football more. Let's be real about that. So for Dave to say this right here definitely gives you a peek behind the curtain and let you know there might have been some very strong disagreements about the direction the team was going in, how they wanted to make things move, how Red Rule and Marty saw things shaking out. You have to side with your head coach because you gave him so much power and job security. He's not going to go unless you want to pay him free money for the next 7-8 years. So we already know that Red Rule has a lot of power and a lot of say as to what the direction of this team is going to be going into. But there was another quote that I think is even more telling. He says, I think sometimes you just need a restart, a refresh. He said, we did it last year on the coaching side. Maybe you could say it should have been done before on the GM side. Maybe it should have been. I'm sure people may say that or otherwise on both sides. Now, I know this man, David Tepper, has been reading Twitter. This man has been on Instagram. This man has been on every single YouTube live stream where Panthers fans can be found. Everyone's saying, fire Marty Hurney, fire Hurney. We don't like this trade. We don't like this free agent signing. We don't like this draft picks. Fire Marty Hurney. They've been saying it for 4 or 5 years now. They've been saying the same thing for years now, my brother. So we understand that maybe it should have been done before, but the best time to do it right now. You can't take a time machine and go back in the past. So right now is definitely the best time for this to have happened. Better than doing it a month from now or even after the draft. You go ahead and make this move. Now you have a month, 2 months, maybe 2.5 months to find your GM. And then you have the draft late April, and you have time to make your big board, have Matt Rule find a guy he likes, and you have a GM who's more of these newer age dudes. I don't know who all the GM prospects are, and as we get more ideas on who's available, we will be able to make more decisions then, but it doesn't matter who's available right now. The best decision was getting rid of Marty Hurney. This was the time for change for the Panthers, and as of right now, I'm cool with it. That's how I feel about it, man. Marty Hurney is now gone. Ding dong. The witch is dead. Let me know all your thoughts on this whole situation in the comments below. And you already know what to do with that like button.
Yes.
Jesus, praise the Lord.
Yes, God.
Hallelujah, God.
Yes.
We don't want no devils in the house, God.
Yes,
we
Lord.
want the Lord.
Yes,
That's
Jesus.
it.